Hello, everyone. My name is JT, the Talking Head. You are the audience, and you are listening to episode 16 of the Masters of Matinee podcast, a collaborative show between content creators who all share a great love for cinema and a passion for physical media. Today's episode is our second ever community conversation, and our guest is the film-based TikToker Judas Cinema Closet. The Masters of Matinee would like to remind you to silence all cell phones and do enjoy the show.
Barney has pink toes. That's not one. I just wanted to say it.
I'm gonna include that because I was recording. Barney has pink toes.
Judas's vocal warm-ups.
Judas, welcome to Masters of Matinee.
How's it going?
For technically your first time, but I can't talk about it yet, but we already have recorded something with you in it that's going to be coming up down the pipeline. But we're not ready to announce exactly what that is as of yet, because as we're recording this, it's September 22nd. This episode will actually be going up next week because I got my schedule messed up. So thank you very much for coming in clutch at such short notice and coming on, because I needed somebody interesting and entertaining to talk to tonight, and I can't think of anybody better.
Of course, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to be here. And, that's kind of just the Judas way to sneak my way into things. I'm already in an episode, like you said, or something.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of being a sneaky little snake, I'm going to ask you this question. It's the same question I try to ask everybody the first time they come on the show. Judas, do you still feel guilt for betraying Christ?
It's the same question you ask everyone, really.
Every single person.
No, I had a few thousand years to sit there and feel really bad about it, but I just think bygones be bygones by now.
Do you think he feels the same way?
I hope so. I hear he's supposed to be returning soon.
He is supposed to be pretty, quick to forgive. It's like father, like son.
Exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure I heard him whisper up there. He said, "Hey, it's cool."
It's cool. That's great. Okay. On the real though, I do have a question that I ask everybody. What is the last movie that you watched, and on a scale of 1 to 10, that movie is now your real life? How fucked are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh man. Well, the last movie I watched was actually about 10 minutes ago, The Puss in Boots: Last Wish. A great movie, fantastic movie, and I don't even like most of the Shrek films. I would say I guess it all depends on that map. Without saying too many spoilers, how messed up I'd be, but I'd say I'm okay. You know what? I'm gonna be okay. I'd get to that last wish.
Now, all right, you are not the main character though, so you are not Puss in Boots. You're just somebody in the world, or like somebody that you are going alongside Puss in his story.
Okay, so I have to at least follow the story. I can't just be like, fine, I chill out in a village somewhere while that's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, you
Okay.
have to be like you're, if not a sidekick, at least a comedic relief for the story.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm pretty toast then, because Jack Bauer, he didn't care what was in his way. He got right. Wait, I just said that name completely wrong. I don't think it's Jack Bauer. That's a completely different movie.
Was it Jack Bauer? Isn't that from the Prestige, right? Or
It's something like that.
all right, let's look it up.
Jack Horner is what I'm looking for, though. Jack Horner is the name of the villain in the movie.
I gotta look up who Jack Bauer is now, because that.
There's a Jake Bauer. Jack Bauer or Jake Bauer is the name I was thinking. I am a bit dyslexic, obviously.
It's Kiefer Sutherland in 24.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah. So you're pretty toast.
Yeah, I'm pretty toast. Horner left no one alive.
Okay.
That movie's pretty brutal, to be honest.
I guess you were watching it with your munchkins.
Yes, I watched it with my munchkins, but I actually just thoroughly enjoy that one. I'll watch that one by myself once in a while. It's got some great adult comedy in it. Not even hidden, to be honest.
That's got the same kind of animation style that Spider-Verse and TMNT have, right?
Yeah, actually, it definitely does. Especially the fight scenes. You can tell they kind of drop the frame rates, but up the graphics and everything to make it look really nice.
It's kind of like a cell shading.
Yeah, almost like that. I'm not exactly sure the words, but yeah, it definitely changes up to something like that.
Yeah, I wanna see that just because, I've heard the art style is so gorgeous. Did you watch it on 4K?
No, I have not gotten a chance to watch it on 4K, but I have been watching it on Dolby Atmos with my Blu-ray.
Mm,
And it looks gorgeous. Like even just that, because we watched it on streaming and we watched it with my Blu-ray, and Blu-ray definitely goes above and beyond over the streaming even. And the streaming was apparently 4K, so I found that a little interesting.
yeah.
Um,
Hey, different strokes, different strokes. I mean, Blu-ray, you know, the 1080p high def, Blu-rays also they typically, like to add kind of a blue filter over it, a blue screen over it is what I've heard it referred to, where it's just to brighten the picture up. And,
okay,
so, I mean, in that way, it can be subjective to depending on what your personal taste is. That's why, like, whenever you get, like, 4K movies like Heat, for example, I don't know if you've seen the 4K of Heat, it's very, very dark, and the reason that people think it's so dark and it doesn't look good is because the, um, the Blu-ray and DVD releases for the past 20 years of that movie have been digitally brightened up so for home audiences and stuff. And but according to a few of my friends who saw that movie years ago in the theater, that's pretty much how it looked, was dark and depressing, and it was like very, very a dark film visually. So I mean,
okay,
it's just a preference thing at the end of the day. If you you know, I mean, some of my friends would say if you want to see it how it was seen in theaters, it's like, the Texas Chainsaw. I was talking with Stephen Lackey about this, documentary and Stephen Lackey, OTS Movie Night, for those at home listening. We were having this discussion about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K scans from Dark Sky Films, and I know that you haven't seen it yet, but the one from Second Sight. You have a story and a half for that one, huh?
oh yes, I definitely will eventually get the rest of it.
Um
uh,
But yeah, the scan of Second Sight was according to the director of photography, and it was Steven said that it was exactly how he remembered seeing it in the theater, and that's how it's supposed to have been seen. But the Dark Sky scan is from director Toby Hooper. It's from a scan that he did for the Dark Sky Blu-ray. It was a 4K scan before he died a few years ago, and so that's a director approved scan, but it looks more gritty and nasty, and a lot more orangey. And apparently, that's just how we're so used to seeing it. That's why a lot of people prefer it, is because that's how we're used to seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre from the VHS perspective, and then brought over to DVDs and Blu-rays in the past. And without these new scans and stuff, it's not. It doesn't look good in our current world. But then apparently it didn't look that grimy in theaters. So it's all a preference thing, is what I'm long-windedly saying.
oh yeah, clearly I've noticed that in a lot of 4Ks because a lot of them just get restorated way different than other ones, and some of them say they are director approved. Some of them just say we didn't ask anyone, we just did this. So
Yep,
definitely,
yep, yep. All right, so Judas, I want to know. I want to dive a little bit in about you. This is, we like to have
be
some
careful.
discussions. We like to have some discussions here, but especially since this is your first solo episode, I'll say that it's your first solo episode on the show. I want to um, open up the can of worms, ask the hard hitting questions. Um, what's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Favorite breakfast cereal? That's gonna have to go with Lucky Charms. A little bit of
Ooh,
classic with a little bit of sweet.
okay. That's that's not a common answer, I would say. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say Lucky Charms is their favorite. It's always just kind of been a cereal that's there. Like I'll eat it if it's there,
Sorry,
but
my second favorite always throws everyone off. It's always Raisin Bran,
ew.
and it's been it's been Raisin Bran since I was like 8 or 10.
Dude, I'm gonna have to. Okay, I try not to be judgy, but I'm gonna have to judge you on that. Uh,
Judgy.
Betraying Christ makes a lot more sense now because you got to be a pretty sad individual to betray Christ and like Raisin Bran. Fuck.
Hey man, I need to be able to make in the morning, or I get pretty pissed off. Jesus understands.
You wake up in the morning and drop a log because of that Raisin Bran crunch.
It was just a morning I didn't get my Raisin Bran.
All right. On the serious note, though, What in your life growing up got you so into cinema? I know that you're a musician. The audience at home probably doesn't know that, but I know that you're very deep into music. And we can talk about the music aspect of you on a different episode. I really want to keep with movies today. What because you're a film talker. You've just recently hit 1,000 followers, which fucking congratulations for that. Very
Yay, thank you so much.
very well earned. I got to pat myself on the back for that as well because I feel like I had a pretty large part to do with that.
Hey,
Um,
hey, here comes my hand to your back too. I gotta thank you. You definitely gave me a lot of support and different little tweaks and stuff there that helped me get here. Between you, Brandon, a lot of other people that I can't even remember their names right now because I'm very bad with names and dyslexic. But there's a list of like good 25 film talkers that are all amazing. The film talk community is above the best. Very
uh,
supportive.
he's referencing Brandon Z at BEZ Movies on TikTok. I agree. Brandon is an incredible person. I think we should all go and tell him how incredible he is by going to his comment section and spamming Halloween ends in his comment
Hey, hey,
section.
hey. I didn't say his name because he won't agree that I have the best hair, so
Uh, I think OTS Movies has the best hair in TikTok. So
you know his it's right. He's got that Wonder Woman hair. It's just so gorgeous and invisible.
invisible. So what we're going to talk about leading up into TikTok and stuff here in a bit, but I want to know what what sparked your love for movies. Let's start right there. So growing up, you're a little baby Judas, you haven't even betrayed Christ yet. You're just going to play reenactments of theater and biblical times, and you're like, man, I just really want to own this shit so I can watch it whenever I want. What sparked that love for you?
You make this really hard to answer. I want to answer so accurate with the way you asked it. But honestly, it was my mother. As far as I can remember, my mom has always been a movie lover herself. She was showing me horror films since I was 6. We used to stay up and watch these shows on TV called the Scream Up All Night marathons. And it wasn't about the scream, it was just a woman screaming. Actually, though, Scream was one of the first ones I have a vivid memory of seeing. But my mother's showing me movies and always taking me to the rental stores. And then by the time I hit 10, I would go to the rental stores myself all the time, even when I was broke, just to look at all the different art on the cases.
What was your local rental store?
My local rental store, so we had a couple of them. One, I can't remember the name, but it stands out to me the most because I swear this movie store was, it was a time machine. Because I went in there when I was like 7, I want to say, and I rented The Mummy Returns. I watched it a bunch of times. I memorized that movie. A bunch of years go by. We moved to a different state. I go to look for that movie. That movie hasn't even come out yet.
What?
Yes, that movie has not come out yet. I explained to the guy. I even told him scenes, and he said I'm crazy. And that rental store, the one I do remember highly, is King's Rental over in Bellflower, California.
The
That
one
was the rental. Huh?
the one that didn't know that Mummy's Returns
Yeah,
existed?
the one that didn't know the Mummy Returns existed.
You're
The
talking about
one
the
I remembered
one
as a
with
child.
talking about the one with Brendan Fraser, right?
Yeah, the one with Brendan Fraser, the
Okay,
second one, the one that had The Rock being the Scorpion King.
got you. So
I remember that because I even said there was the chocolate Scorpion King guy.
so so you have this time traveling video store. That is a premise for a movie right there.
Right? And no one believes me, and I swear that I either dreamt this because I have, like, 5 or 6 other recollections of renting movies there that just weren't out yet,
Wow.
and but anyways, the moving along, once we moved out to state and I started going to rental stores a lot more on my own and I started remembering them, one that always memorizes King's Rentals in, Bellflower, California. The owner of that place, a wonderful Korean man, always had awesome suggestions for me. A lot of the times, though, he forgot I was a child, I guess, and would suggest me some really hardcore, nasty stuff.
And
I guess
that
that's how I got into what I like now.
yeah, that's how you got into watching Anthropophagus and betraying Jesus, huh? I'm
Yeah,
not gonna let this go.
that's all right. I chose the nickname for a reason, I guess. Well, the nickname chose me.
Oh my gosh. I so man, that was such an experience, right? When was this? Was in this in the early 90s, I guess? Mid
So
90s?
when we moved to where King's Video was in California, I think it was just turned 2000.
2000. Okay. So pretty pretty formative years getting ready to go into some pretty rough times in our country, yeah. And
Oh yeah.
it was a magical time to grow up until it was a absolutely terrible time to grow up.
It was the last magical time for movies too. I feel like that was the time you can get away with anything and it became a AAA movie. I mean, you had the most silliest of Adam Sandler movies topping the charts, and they didn't even make sense half the time.
Yep. And not only that, I mean 9/11 too happens and that changed film like permanently and music
Oh
too. I
yeah.
mean, some really impactful shit caused like a total shift in the entertainment industry and but I can remember going into video stores in the very early 2000s, maybe even the late 90s. I was born in 96. So I can remember going and seeing movies. Like I was telling, I think I mentioned this in my review for it on www.ohmr.us. Shameless plug. For May, Second Sight just released that May set, and the original cover art that is one that like really stands out in my mind. Do you have like a cover art or two of movies that just really are at the forefront of your mind, just like live there? Whenever you think about video stores, you remember going down the aisles and you see this cover art? Do you have one of
Oh,
those?
oh, definitely. One already pops into my mind. I mean, The Dentist 2. Uh, okay movie. I love the first Dentist, but it took me years to see him because the cover art of the first second Dentist is a woman's mouth full of razor blades instead of teeth, and just terrified me as a child. And then there was another one, a Men Behind the Sun. Like I said, my Korean rental guy had some crazy movies up there. That cover art of the two guys in their throne and all the stuff going on, that lived in my memories forever.
Do you remember what the first movie what's the first movie that you recall renting from a video store was?
Hmm. I think the first movie I rented was Ninja Scroll, an 80s anime. It was a one-off movie, but very brutal and very violent, especially for animation at the time. A lot of gore. Just a one-off movie. Ninjas tracking down a girl.
I've heard of that, but I don't it doesn't come immediately to mind, but Ninja Scroll, that sounds like a very familiar name. Um, I think all right, I'll tell you mine here in a second, but I want to know because I'm really interested in the video store conversation. I love video
Yes.
stores. It's something that I miss so dearly. What is your absolute favorite movie or not movie, but memory of going to a video store?
So I do have one. I remember going in there. Actually, this was right after I have a giant hole in my head, and I got smacked in the head as a child with a golf club. I stood too close to my friend. We were smacking balls, um, and it cracked my skull open pretty bad. So we rushed me to the hospital. I got a bunch of stitches and whatnot. As soon as I got out of the hospital, though, I wanted to go rent Happy Gilmore. That's what I wanted. Nothing else. I wanted to watch motherfucking Happy Gilmore because golfing was on my mind.
Oh
So
my
I went in
god.
there and they didn't have it. And I started getting upset. I do believe I was about like 11 years old at this time. I was starting to get upset. So I was starting to grab other things. And the Korean guy noticed I was upset. He was like, "What is wrong?" I almost just did an accent. He's like, "What is wrong?"
Canceled.
And
Appropriation. Canceled.
it's my problem. I have to watch myself. Um, And I told him, I explained to him, and he said, "Oh, hold on." And he went and found it in the rental or in the return box and did the whole thing for me and got it for me. And that memory just always stayed in my head because it made me so happy to go home with Happy Gilmore, the movie I wanted.
So you walk into the video store with your head bandaged, presumably.
Yes, I did.
If I was the Korean guy, I'd probably take pity on you too and find whatever the fuck. What has happened to this kid, man? Like I gotta help this kid out. Like your reaction is either gonna be that or get the fuck out of my store, you mummy. You you come in here talking about about the Mummy Returns, and now you come and dress this one. Come on now.
Right.
So you say that you got whacked in the head with a golf club. So it's safe to say that Happy Gilmore golfing was literally literally on your mind.
Yes, quite literally. I actually think it was because that's all I kept thinking about when I was sitting there getting stitches because I hated getting those stitches. Because I kept thinking, "Wow, a golf club hit me," and then I started thinking about lines from Happy Gilmore. I was like, "I want to watch Happy Gilmore."
Did the doctor pull a stitch or something? And you're like, the price is wrong, Bobby. Dude, I love
Oh
Happy
man,
Gilmore. That's such a great movie.
that is. It's one of his best ones to me, anyways.
I don't think I can beat that. I don't think I can even come close to that story. But when I was a little kid, I think I was probably 5, 6 years old. I went to a video store, a local video store. This was one that was in a little small college town that was not like a Blockbuster, movie gallery, Hollywood Video, not a chain. It was a like independent video store. I remember it was really cool because it had a Subway sandwich shop attached to it. Like the person who owned it was a franchise owner of a Subway. So they fucking brilliant to have a college town, a video store with a Subway attached. Like,
That that's genius. You
it,
just clean up.
yeah. So we go in there, we get some Subway. I'm going to stay with my grandpa, and we're looking around, and I pick a little movie off the shelf called Puppet Master. And my grandpa looks at Puppet Master, and he's like, "Oh, puppets, a kids movie." So we rent it,
Oh no.
and we go to his house, and then we put it in, and we start watching it. And when he realizes what's going on, that, oh, this might not very much so be a kids movie, uh, he's like, I don't know if we should be watching this. And then my mom calls to check on me, and she's like,
She knew.
what you guys watching?" And he was like, "Watching this movie called Puppet Master." And she said, "Oh, I think I've heard of that. What's that one rated?" And she had to guide my grandpa to the back of the like over the phone, the back of the box to see tell him where the rating was. Rated R, of course, and he turned it
Of
off.
course.
And to this day, I've never seen fucking Puppet Master. I'm a grown adult. I know that it's streaming on like Shutter. I have a Shutter account. Like, I could go watch it when we get off here. Am I going to? Probably not.
Nope, you're too much of a good boy.
At
You
this at
you know
this
your mom will be disappointed if you watch it.
at this point, I think I'm 27 years old. I might as well just never watch it. I mean, I've got Charles Band's Arrow Video, Enter the Video Store, Empire Screens box set on my shelf. I'll watch Dolls. I'll watch Robot Jocks. Puppet Master? No, that's too inappropriate. That's too
Hey, to be
inappropriate.
fair, that's a bit of commitment too, because if you're like me, you have to watch them all, and that's like I think over 10 or 12 movies right there.
Yeah, but after a while, didn't they kind of get like the Amityville series where it was just like absolute fucking garbage for like
Oh yeah, well
after like three or something?
it turns into garbage, and then they rebooted it, and it just turns into chaos garbage. They introduce Nazis a lot more and everything. So yeah, but it's a Charles Band movie. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's like I don't know. I love those cheesy movies to to a degree. You know, there's different levels of cheese. There's
Oh yeah,
Charles Band level, and then there's like the more grindhouse level. You know, it's like untalented, cheap, and cheesy, and then talented, cheap, and cheesy. I think Charles Band falls more into the talented, cheap, and cheesy. Would you agree?
I would. I was actually just gonna say. Then you got like the straight shot on VHSs, which I'm learning there are a lot more just finally resurfacing now because there are all these new labels willing to put them out.
Yeah,
Um, and
yeah.
they're tough to go through sometimes, man.
See, that's why I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit hesitant to agree with the ideal that all movies should be on physical media because the argument that I always hear is like all movies are art, they deserve to be, you know, released to these, you know, editions and stuff. I'm like, no, man, not all movies deserve to be released on Blu-ray or DVD even. Like, I don't care that you're you and your friends shot a movie in your backyard, like, the only
That stays between you and your friends.
I will tell you the only time that I have ever given a shit about an SOV movie was Eric Wilkinson, the MVD indie producer. MVD, he's a curator for the MVD Rewind collection. He and his brother and his friends in like 1988 made a SOV slasher movie that's like 20 minutes long called The Violence Movie, and it's actually fun to watch. I don't know if it's legitimately fun because, I'm, like, seeing one of my good buddies in, back when he was a teenager, doing this, or if it's because it's kinda like watching, your friend's whole movies in a way, or if it was just a legitimately good SOV movie, but I don't have much of a frame of reference. Have you seen many of those crappy SOVs?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually diving really deep into them. Visual Vengeance has been putting out a lot of them lately. A lot of ones that I didn't even know existed because, like, The Abomination is from '89 and it's a straight to VHS, but the practical effects in it are just crazy good. The acting not so crazy good, but the practical effects are. Violence movie is another one that's amazing. I have that on my collection. I do put that with all my shot on VHS movies. I do prefer the second one. I guess you can say they're split into two. You got Violence movie one and two on there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. As a film critic myself, the second one has some very big plot holes, but that I just don't think that Eric and David thought about back in.
That's that's why I loved about that one because I get to it. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay, fine, whatever you say.
It's for reference, there's a scene in the Violence movie part 2 where the killer reaches his hand through the back of this dude's head and his fingers come through the front of the dude's face and he throws him down on the ground and the killer still has his hand and it pans over and shows the fingers popping out of the dude's face while the killer still has his hand. It's some of the silliest, goofiest, fun shit I've ever seen in my life. You can buy the DVD of this on Amazon for like $10. I think it's like
Oh.
$12 if you buy it from MVD directly. So, like, it's a legitimate DVD release from MVD. I love the fact that he put it out there like that. It's very short. It comes with both parts, 1 and 2, and together combined, they're like 35 minutes. So, very, very short, but it's so fun, and it's so stupid and very admirable because like, a group of teenagers did all this stuff, and it's put together pretty fucking well for what it is and what they had, so
Well, I will say that that is the exception I would have of putting everything on physical media. Fine. But not everything needs to be a boutique label that's released at 40 bucks, 35 bucks.
right.
If it's a shot on VHS, put it out for 5, 10 bucks on something if you want it on physical.
Sure, yeah, and I can agree with that. Other than that, though, I don't give a fuck that you and your friends shot a movie in your backyard. I've done that.
You you know you enjoyed The Room too.
The Room too.
The Room as well.
Oh, okay. I love that movie, but to be fair, that movie had a full studio
To be
budget to
fair,
behind it. Well, to be fair, that
to
movie
be
had a
fair.
that somehow Wiseau finessed all of these fucking people with a fucking studio type budget to make The Room, and it was still awful. So at least
Yeah,
at least The Room looks like a movie. You can't say it doesn't at least look like a movie.
it's got some of the color correction right. Yeah, you're right.
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it. We won't talk about the roof scene.
Yeah, the roof scene is, I mean, very clearly green screen, but uh yeah, I mean, it's a different though. Like The Room is a completely different conversation.
Oh
Um
yeah.
for another day too. I think that we should do a watch party of The Room in our Discord server. I think we should definitely do that.
Oh, definitely. I think we have quite a few people that haven't even checked it out.
Oh yeah, that seeing their reactions for the first time would be awesome. Um, all right, so we've already kind of switched over to this, and we've been talking about a lot of physical media. Judas, your TikTok channel is solely based on physical media collecting and doing mail days and doing this really fun series called Roll for Review, which is based off of Roll for Sandwich, the series on TikTok. Who created Roll for Sandwich? Do you know offhand?
No, I don't. I actually don't know even of Roll It for Sandwich.
Okay. Well, Roll for Sandwich he literally just does the same thing that you do for Roll for Review, but it decides what kind of sandwich, the bread, the condiments, all that stuff.
Oh, that's
Um,
dangerous.
yeah. So you're very you're pretty new with the physical media film talk scene, but you busted on scene in a big fucking way. You've already climbed to 1,000 followers to go live and everything. When did you start film talk?
Only about maybe 2, 3 months ago.
Yeah, so that's insane growth to get to 1,000 followers within 2 or 3 months. That's very fast. I can only assume that when you start going live, you are going to gain so much more. Um,
Oh.
you man, I'm so proud of your fucking growth on TikTok. It's so fun to see new people who love physical media coming in and like making content based on it. So we are going to talk about that. I know I keep putting that one off. We are going to talk about your TikTok fame, quote unquote fame, here in a minute. But
No problem.
I want to keep on the physical media side of it. So whenever I ask this question, every guest I've ever had, all the other masters essentially have had the same answer, except for maybe Zed, because he's a youngin. When I ask what got you started collecting physical media, and in the year 2023, why do you still collect it? The answer that I normally get is because I'm old and it's what I know, and I want to own the stuff that I watch. I don't want people to take it away from me. Is that kind of what you're like too, or do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I guess I kind of have a story for it, but you might be able to sum it up to that. But I mean, the reason I started collecting is because I grew up in LA, like and a lot of bootleg VHSs and DVDs at the time were always sold. I mean, we you couldn't sit in a Taco Bell without having someone run into that Taco Bell going, "Hey, you want to buy a movie? You want to buy a movie? I got this. I got the new movie. I got this," and then whipping out a giant freaking duffel bag full of movies. At that time, I found this really cool guy who would sell a lot of overseas martial art films, things I've never even heard of. And at that time, I used to spend my lunch money to buy movies to collect them because I never seen those, never could find them anywhere. There was no streaming services. Um, and I've always fought to keep collecting. I've never really truly stopped. There are things in my life that have diminished my collection. So I've always rebuilt. This would be the hopefully the last time I've ever had to rebuild. Um, and in 2023, I'm still collecting because I just can't trust digital fully still. I mean, I love digital, I love technology and everything, but I mean, I had a big collection of digital movies that got taken away from me because Walmart doesn't do its connection with Vudu no more, and something happened with my account, and I lost like over 60 some odd movies that I had on there digitally. So after that, I just solely bought physical.
Not to mention, there's a lot of movies out there that are still not streaming anywhere and they're not available to buy digitally. A lot of these movies that we buy from labels like Blue Underground or Severin or Vinegar Syndrome, these are movies that were uncovered by these boutique labels and they were remastered, restored from the best film elements they could possibly find, and they're put out and this is the only way to see them. A lot of them, admittedly, to the credit of streamers, are on like Shutter. I know that Shutter has a very big, like Lucia Fulci collection, Argento collection, Mario and Umberto Bava. They got a lot of Jolly and a lot of grindhouse type movies and
Yeah.
stuff, and that's great. And I think they also probably work with a lot of these labels and stuff to get it. But at the same time, for every movie that's on Shutter, there's probably 10 to 20 that are not on streaming, have never been on streaming, and probably never will come on streaming.
Oh, exactly. I'm definitely finding almost every week still finding movies that aren't on streaming, movies that don't even have DVD or Blu-ray releases. I just purchased a new movie that's never seen the light of day on physical since I think the '60s, and I'm
Ooh,
so happy to have that.
what was it?
Hope that is a Haunted Samurai, and actually, Diabolical DVD is doing a limited one-time pressing of it. They helped put it out, and it's supposed to be a lone wolf and cub style type ninja movie with a lot of blood and gore, though.
Ooh, I might have to check this out.
Yes, it's very well priced too for a limited one-time printing. I do believe it was only like 25 bucks.
That is not bad at all. But yeah, so I mean, physical media is definitely something that I think it's a misconception. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's dying." It's not dying just because you're not seeing it, just because Target's removing it. And I mean, Target is removing, but Walmart is really picking it up. I mean, in the past, like 3 months alone, 4 months alone, they have released tons of different movies with exclusive slipcovers that are just at Walmart. And it's like, like they did The Mist. They did two different slipcovers for The Mist. And it's like that movie probably never would have fucking got paid attention to. I never would have bought it if I didn't see it for 750 with this really cool slipcover at my Walmart. And it's like, so there are people that are picking it up, and then there's also it switching to a collector's market. And I think Walmart really realizes that is that, the way that they're going to sell and move product is to label it as a collector's item. And with steelbooks, I mean, Best Buy has been on that with for a while with their partnership with Lionsgate for their exclusive steelbooks and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no, I completely agree with you, though. Physical media is not dying. If anything, it's thriving more than ever. I mean, we have more boutique labels now than we've ever had, more special editions, one click boxes. I mean, I can't even keep up with how many is coming out. Our wallets are hurting. It's not dying. We're dying.
Yeah, this is true. I think it's also a little oversaturated. I don't feel like a lot of these popped up boutique labels that we're seeing are going to survive in the long run. I think the ones that are dug in deep and have been here for a long time and are continually doing the right things are going to stay. The ones that are the big guys, the Criterion,
Oh,
Arrow,
yeah.
and then the ones that are, even if they're smaller, they're doing something unique. Your
Oh, yeah.
your Blue Underground, your Vinegar Syndrome. Um, I think you just had some kind of a partnership with Wild Eye, right?
Yeah, Wild Eye's been sending me some awesome goodies from their Visual Vengeance series.
Yeah,
That series is blowing up.
yeah, and I've been seeing more and more about Visual Vengeance, Wild Eye in general, um, and they're doing really freaking cool stuff, really cool releases. So you know, they're kind of a new kid on the block, right? Wild Eye is.
Uh, Actually, Wild Eye's been around for quite a while. I found out
Oh,
they
okay.
just have their hand in a couple different companies. So this Visual Vengeance is a new line of theirs. This is a somewhat new line. I think it started last year. They only have about like 5 or 10 movies on it. But from what I've seen, Wild Eye has been around for a few years because even one of the TikTokers I've talked to said they produced his movie about 6 years ago.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I still will stick to my point though that I think that a lot of these more popped up labels and stuff probably won't
No,
last the long run,
yeah,
Uh,
you're completely right with that. I'm kind of hoping you're right with that too, because there are some labels you can see are just doing this because it's a money grab. They're like, oh, wait, there are people out here willing to buy this much for a Blu ray.
mhm,
All right. But there are, you can tell what labels are here to stay and take care of us.
yeah. The ones that are I think in my opinion, the best ones are the ones that know that these movies should be seen and that they are willing to provide a product that is geared for collectors, but also provide a product that is not super geared for collectors that somebody that just wants the movie can get. So somebody like Criterion, they release really nice packages all round. And if they have a super big box set that's like super expensive, it's usually justifiable because they have multiple movies in it, for one. And but for two, their regular priced Blu-rays for $40. Some of them might just have a regular packaging, but some of them might have like a really nice kind of box set packaging, digibook packaging that's geared for collectors. And then you have, and this is an issue that I take with like Vinegar Syndrome. I love Vinegar Syndrome. I don't want to trash them because I think that their work that they do on restoration is honestly, in a lot of cases, second to none. I think that they do some of the best restoration work in the whole business. But I kind of fucking hate that they'll put these movies out in these like super nice editions and stuff, and they don't have a standard edition to go with it. It's like
Yeah.
if you just want that movie on 4K, you're gonna have to pay 50, $60, and you're gonna have to do it while they have it there because once they print it once, they're 10,000 copies or whatever. It's never coming back. They sell like hotcakes. It's a brilliant business model, but it's not very pro consumer in my mind because I mean, once these are gone, you got like the Roadhouse set, the VSU Roadhouse set is freaking insane. To their credit, they did release a standard Roadhouse. That's great. But I don't think they do that for everything.
No, they don't.
And it's like once it's gone, it's gone. It's just like what's the point in going under the guise of preservation of film if once you sell out of a product, you're not going to reprint it in a less limited form that's less geared for collectors. Like if you want to preserve film, wouldn't the idea be to make it accessible for everybody?
Yeah, see, that's why I kinda like Kino Lorber a little bit. I mean, they do what Scream Factory does. I mean, they sell out of their slips and you'll never ever see them ever again. But they still make their movies available no matter what. I can still go grab one for $100 or just grab one without a slip for 10, 12 bucks.
Right. Yep. I think Kino is another one of those labels that is going to stick around forever. I would
Oh yeah.
say probably the big five, six, the big six that I think that I see, and you can tell me if you disagree with this or if like want to add on or anything that I see staying around for the long haul as far as boutique labels go would be Criterion, Arrow Video, Scream Factory, MVD, Blue Underground, and Vinegar Syndrome.
I agree with all of those except for Blue Underground. For some reason, I sadly haven't seen them doing much lately. They've been just redoing all their movies again in 4K. They seem to have the same 20 to 30 movies, and even if you go on their website, it's just kind of filled with smut now.
Well, they've always kind of been mostly smut.
Yeah, but before their website used to have their regular Blu-rays and stuff, and it's kind of hard to even find those on there now.
Well, now
Um,
I think they're mostly distributed through MVD's website.
Okay, and that was the next point I was gonna say. Of course, MVD is gonna stay. They got their hands in everything.
Yeah,
You can't
for
put out a movie
those
without MVD.
for a lot of them, yeah. For those who don't realize, MVD is way, way, way bigger than what you know. It's way bigger than the visual line or the rewind line. They are the American distributor for Arrow Video, 88 Films, I think, Severin, Synapse, uh,
Unearthed Films.
Unearthed, Blue Underground, and tons more. Like I think maybe Indie
Yeah,
Picks and a lot of smaller labels too. Like they are the ones who are like if you buy an American release of an Arrow video, it's not being shipped from an Arrow warehouse that's in the States. It's being produced and shipped by MVD. So it's like they are and they have their label, but they are a distributor. And I think that's something that I want to get Eric on on the podcast to talk more about that too. I think
definitely
that's something that's always interested me about MVD is because they have the staying power because they're a necessity for the business. I think that's a brilliant like business model um, on their half. Let's switch gears a little bit, Judas.
sounds good.
So we've talked about Puss in Boots. We talked about physical media. Talked about your betrayal of Christ. I let's talk about your foray into entertainment. So, like I had mentioned previously, you were a musician. I don't know
Yes.
what you played in a band. I'm gonna assume you were a guitar player.
Uh huh. Just assuming, huh? It's the
You
long hair and can't
you,
do anything else, can I?
you have the look of a guitar player.
Yes, I was a guitar player.
Okay, so natural fucking entertainer. You I can guarantee you were fucking born to do it. So, when I scroll through TikTok one day and I see this guy, Judas Cinema Closet, and he is doing something unlike any of us other fat ass lazy film talkers are doing, and he's getting up and he's jumping into frame. And he is high energy like this man drank 4 Red Bulls before he turned on the camera.
Know it.
I'm hooked on it. I'm followed. I am, "Oh my god, this guy is just the best." He's like he your personality, I don't mean this offensively, your personality is like a dog. You're high energy, you're just so bubbly, and you want to be loved and just make people happy. Like, it comes off so well in your videos that you are so happy to be making that video. It doesn't feel like it's drag for you. You're always so happy to be getting this physical media. You tell by watching you that you're somebody who really appreciates the hell out of these releases that you're getting and unboxing on the camera, and you're super happy and enjoying the fact that you've found other people who want to share in that with you, and you have people to talk to about it. That's what I see. I want to know, and I personally do know this, but the audience needs to know what got you started on TikTok. Where did you discover this, and how long have you been doing the entertainment medium? I know you had mentioned to me off camera that you had done YouTube and stuff before, right? Like you've had
Yeah, I've
several
done
YouTube
YouTube.
channels and stuff like that. So let's hear about your background with media.
With media, so I've always been trying to be in the spotlight at some point. Even though I'm a very shy kid at heart, I've always wanted to be known, wanted to stand out. So I started playing music originally. Was in high school, did the jazz band stuff, did a bunch of metal bands. At those times, though, I was metal. You know, when I was in bands as an adult, my personality was darker, very quiet, very grim. That's not who I am. Clearly, as you can see in my videos, I'm a very bubbly guy, as you said. Uh, so I've always tried to put that into perspective with other mediums I like. Like I'm a huge gamer, so I tried to do the whole YouTube of recording and just watching me play video games and stuff. But I don't have the knack of keeping up conversation by myself without anyone there. So I felt it was a bit too dry. I've tried, as you see, doing fan made music videos. I love doing almost everything that has to do with art or creating with media, music, video, cartoons, whatever it is. And I love sharing it. The energy you see in my videos, all that excitement and bubbly. Yes, I'm happy to get movies, but I can get movies any day of the week. I can go to Best Buy and buy a couple movies and skip home if I want. I'm excited because I get to share it with people I know that like it for finally. I've collected media for so long, and everyone just was like, "Okay, that's cool." Well, don't understand it. Didn't really care. Would watch a movie, scratch one of my movies, not really care. Things like that. To find people that love and understand what I'm talking about or showing off, or I don't even have to say much. I just pull a movie out of a package sometimes and be like, "I got this," and people just instantly know what it is and love it.
That's pretty much exactly like what my background with it was with coming into film talk is, I had nobody in my real life that really gave a shit about physical media. And honestly, not a lot of people cared about movies that much. Like some people I could watch, like friends I could watch a movie with, and they could appreciate it as a piece of cinema and stuff. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this is objectively a great movie. I had fun watching it." But
Oh
nobody
yeah.
really wants to sit down and talk in depth about a movie and have that discussion. And then, I mean, pull out a fucking DVD, and they're like, "Why don't you just stream it on Netflix?"
Exactly.
I don't have anybody, not a single soul in my real life that collects Blu-ray, 4K, DVD even. Nobody gives a shit about that. And then you go on to TikTok. Out of all places, the place that I was like, fuck TikTok for the longest time. TikTok is stupid. You think I'm gonna go waste my brain cells on fucking TikTok? Fuck no. I think I've said fuck a lot. This you bring out you bring it out of me. This is the product of JT with coffee and a Red Bull today.
Hey, there we go.
Um, it's like, no, I'm not gonna watch TikTok. It's stupid. But then my wife got me to freaking download it. I'm like, hmm, okay, I can find some people in here that they're kind of funny. And then like, oh, I found movie people. That led me to film talk with the physical media collectors, and I'm like, oh my god, my people are here. My people, they're
See, it was
they're
kind
like
of the
me.
same thing. Yeah, I my woman is the only reason I got TikTok as well. She loves doing TikTok. She actually used to have a TikTok that had about 5,000 followers, and then for some reason it got completely erased, banned, deleted. They just not even a warning, just got rid of it on her. But she restarted, and I was on TikTok for a while. I used to have a lot of like family videos and different things on there, trying to find my knack. Didn't like it. Didn't like uploading videos. It took me about a year or two being on TikTok till I found two people, and you were one of the first two people I actually found that were collecting movies. So yeah, you're actually one of the reasons I started doing film talk. So thank you.
Who was the other?
The other, a lot of people might know, was a Protexter. Actually,
Oh yeah, okay.
Protexter and you were the first two film talkers I found, and were my inspirations to show off my collection.
Well, I am honored. I am honored to have helped to inspire you. So, what part did your wife play in this in getting you into TikTok? And go ahead and shout her out because she's a fellow TikToker. She doesn't do film talk; she does other stuff, but she's also a Twitch streamer and stuff. So, give Pix a little love, huh?
Yeah, so my wife, Pixie, her TikToks believe in Pixie. I think it's believe in Pixie 2.0 because I do believe the first one got deleted. Believe in Pixie 2.0. She does a lot of different things. She likes to lip sync. She likes to dance. She likes to show off her art. She actually is a movie collector herself, and I convinced her to start doing a little bit of TikToks of her movies. She collects more VHSs and Disney style. Um, but she was always pushing me to always post things. She likes it when I post things, and she always says, "You know what? Don't care what people think. Just be yourself." And I never really could push past that until I saw you and Protex are kind of being, just yourself and showing that off. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna be very energetic. And as soon as it went off. She encouraged me every day to keep going at it, and not until I picked up a few followers and stuff did I really fall in love with it. So yeah, because of her.
That's fucking great, man. I am internally grateful for Pixie for pushing you into it. That's it's great that you have somebody behind you to gear you into it. What does she think about your physical media collection?
She likes the fact I collect media. She wishes I would collect a little less on the horror side. She does not like horror at all. Like, she'll watch one or two thrillers that I will call them. She'll consider them horror films, but I'll consider them thrillers. Um, but other than that, she absolutely is a very big supporter. She is the reason. If you've noticed lately, I've gotten quite a bit in the mail. She is in full support of that. I'm not sleeping on the couch or anything. So to have a wife that's in full support of me spending that much on physical media, I think she's definitely behind me for it.
I'm kind of curious, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I'm not going to pry, but if you feel comfortable answering, in the past few months, approximately,
Ooh.
how much do you think you spent on physical media? Because this man's doing a mail day like multiple times a week. Again, you don't have
Um,
to answer this if you don't want to. I will cut this completely out of the podcast if you want me to, but
no, it is perfectly fine. I'll throw you a ballpark of it because I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna say I have to have reached over 4 digits. That's for sure.
4
Well,
digits.
yeah, yeah,
That's
about.
that's that's probably my budget for a year, if that.
Yeah, this will probably be a one-time thing because after November, we are actually going to be starting to save for a house so we can
Ooh, okay.
put this collection in a bigger spot.
There you go. And to be fair too, I mean, like you said, you've had to rebuild and you've had to discard and rebuild your collection multiple times throughout your life. This
Yes.
is the product of most recently rebuilding this collection, right?
Yes, this is my wife's way of she wanted to really help me because she always know how bummed out I was that I had to lose more than half of my collection. And so this was another way of her giving me that back. And that's why my buying have been very sporadic of what I'm buying and what I'm purchasing, because I'm constantly trying to decide of, okay, get things that I used to have or get these new shiny things that have just come out that I don't know if I'll be able to grab ever again.
Well, the plus side to that, it's also a curse. Double-sided coin is that a lot of the things that you used to have been re-released with these shiny new box sets and stuff.
That is true. I am happy. Like, I will point out the Hellraiser. I missed the Scarlet box set. That's a bummer. But I'm getting this awesome 4K set, which I probably wouldn't have gotten if I did get the Scarlet box set before.
So a few years ago when you were collecting before you had to get rid of half your collection, were you collecting like boutique labels and like was it like an active thing or was it just like you would if a boutique label happened to release it, that's what you would collect and you just didn't really care too much about getting into the boutique label in
So in the past, boutique labels were a little harder for me to get because where I was located, I was living out in Montana for the most of the part I was collecting. And out there, I didn't like shopping online yet, so I'd go out to Hastings they had, which amazing Hastings. But their Arrow prices were about 40 to 50 bucks for an Arrow Blu-ray. So at that time all I really bought was Severn if I bought boutiques or Grindhouse releasings. Other than that, I would thrift shop for DVDs and Blu-rays, and my God, were they pawn shops like as far as you can see. In every pawn shop, any movie is $1.
right.
So that was just a gold mine every day. I wish I would have just known about TikTok then. I would have done it then. Whew,
Yep.
the things I found in there.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I had jumped on the TikTok bandwagon before because like I know a lot of these people that started a couple years ago with Film Talk are now, 80, 90,000 followers and, they're actually able to monetize it a little bit and get in the creator fund and all that. And I'm like, and they're getting like partnerships with studios and shit. And I'm like, damn,
Right?
why was I
Yeah.
so
That
pig-headed about starting TikTok before?
Yeah, hey, but you're doing awesome things now. I mean, I love the podcast. I tune into Masters Matinee every Tuesday. Your channel is doing awesome. Your content's great. I love the movies you're getting in, and you have just a great way of talking about and reviewing these movies that I'm not bored of. I'm one that gets bored of almost everything. I can't sit at church. I can't really go to a noir film at a movie theater. I'm sorry. I do love them, but I can't go to a movie theater. I'll fall asleep to them.
Well, I mean, you opened yourself up for it again, Judas. Come on. Can't sit through church. Well, I wonder why. I wonder why you can't sit through church, Judas.
My skin starts to sizzle a little bit. It just it feels unnatural.
Oh my gosh. Uh yeah, that's interesting, man. Like when did you start with the boutique labels? Like was it was it like way back when, I guess when like did you know like about
No.
Criterion or anything or was it really the last time you collected before this current time or what?
So I've always known about Criterion, but the problem with Criterion is I always thought they were more high class dollar wise than they actually are. Like I heard about them and everyone talked about them like they were the top gear. That is what you get if you were the ultimate collector. So I always kind of was like, all right, well, I don't have the money for that shit. um, when I the very first blue boutique I bought though would have to be see here. The Blue Underground Zombie. I do believe when they announced that they were doing the lenticular covers, 3 different lenticular covers, that was when I was like, "Nope, I'm dropping cold hard cash on this," because I love that film and I haven't been able to find it out in the wild. And that's when I went down the rabbit hole of kind of buying boutiques.
You have the like 3 disc set, right?
Yeah.
I've got that. I've got the Blue Underground, but it's just the single disc set of it, um, which is fine for me because I mean it's a great movie, but it's not one of those that for me that's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have. Says the man who just ordered the fucking Santa Sangre 4K box set from Severin, who's never seen this movie. It was a complete blind buy off of a recommendation from my friend Sochil. So,
Yeah,
so
hey, that's a great box set though.
is it?
Comes with a CD.
Yeah, I love it when a movie comes with a CD. I've got a couple releases that come with a CD. The new Black Circle from Synapse comes with the CD soundtrack.
Ooh.
I have Lucio Fulci's The Beyond from Grindhouse releasing that
Yes.
comes. Do you have that one?
Yes. Oh,
with
that one's so gorgeous.
the glow in the dark slipcover and
Yeah.
it has the CD in it, and then I think my there's an awful movie. Don't buy this movie, but Veronica from MVD Visual, uh, based on the Glenn Danzig graphic novel. It has a soundtrack CD, and the soundtrack's great because Danzig did the soundtrack, but the movie is god awful. One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Worse than The
Uh,
Room.
I don't touch much things with Danzig's name on it, so don't worry. Um,
I'm a big Misfits fan, so
I love the Misfits, and that's where I will stand with him. But anything after that, I don't know. He's destroyed his name for me. That's a music talk. That's for a different whole channel. Don't get me on music talk. Musicians will go on forever.
we should do a mom special, Masters of Music.
Mother, that's the mother special.
I will say this quickly about Misfits. I liked Danzig's era, and I can stand with Misfits all the way up until when Jerry only started vocals because
Eh, yeah, I can say I can only stand one song of his, and even that one's a stretch.
dude,
So,
Project 1950 was the most disastrous fucking cover album I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, I don't even think I've listened to that one in a long time. I can't
Uh,
remember that.
the only good thing about that album was their cover of Monster Mash because it actually fit that they were the Misfits covering Monster Mash. That's literally the
Yeah.
only decent thing about it, and it wasn't even good. Like I'll take the
Oh,
original any day over their version. Um, and I love Michael Graves. As for as much of a controversial figure as he is, he's a shit in person as a person, I guess. But I love his voice. And Famous Monsters, I think, is one of the best albums, the best punk albums, horror punk albums ever. And I think it's one of the
oh
best
yeah,
albums
Famous
ever.
Monsters is awesome. That's a great album, and you know what? He is an awesome musician, and yeah, he may be an asshole, but from my experience, more than 50% of musicians are assholes. They're tired. They're done. They just want to make their music. They don't want you grubbing at their feet anymore. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of musicians, you just kind of have to not pay attention to their in real life personality. Do you like their music? Good, then just stay there.
Yeah, the problem with Graves though is that he was like a little bit of a radical right wing nut job. I think.
Okay, never mind. I was gonna say I'm a Gigi Allen fan. There's not much you can do, but
Yeah,
right
it
wing,
was.
never mind.
Well, I'm not even saying coming at this from a liberal point of view. I don't want to get into politics, but not even coming
No.
at this from a liberal point of view. But he was like that far right. To some of the internet posts I've seen from him are way out there. But I think he also
Alex
might have
Jones
had
vibe.
some kind of essay uh, allegations against him or something, but I'm not sure. This allegedly. Don't sue me, Graves. Let me ask you this: what's your
Yeah.
favorite movie that a band has done?
Favorite movie that a band has done. Oh, not too many come to mind. I mean, we got Trick or Treat. We got
Oh yeah, the one with Ozzy and Gene Simmons.
yeah, that one was pretty decent. I don't know if Crosswords counts, but Crossword Roads, not Crosswords, Crossroads with Steve Vai. But that no band didn't write that movie. I don't know. I don't know too many movies written by a band. I guess.
The best one is Kiss, Phantom of the Park. So, and it's
I completely forgot about that one.
and Studio 666 is a close second. Have you seen
I
Studio
was just about to
666?
yeah, I was just gonna mention Studio 666 is really good.
That was
I was
really
about to
fun.
say the Foo Fighters one.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a pretty fun movie actually. I really liked that.
there's another one I actually had it's on my watch list. It's a Japanese film called Burst City, and it's actually heavily based around a Japanese punk band from the 80s.
Oh
So
really?
it definitely has caught my attention. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's on my list. I just picked it up not too long ago.
Gotcha. I might have to check that out myself. All right, Judas. This has been an absolute blast. I want to have you back on sooner rather than later because I just enjoy fucking talking to you. I enjoy your company. I'm so happy with your growth on TikTok. I'm very proud of you. And
Thank you, thank you.
I think that God, 3 months for 1,000 followers, dude. That's impressive.
Well, to
That's
be fair, I did start with like 200 followers because I did have this TikTok for a while, but
Nonetheless, man, nonetheless, like, even if it was just spam accounts following you or following you for just, like, your little couple videos you did before, like, I mean, that growth in that amount of time is pretty insane. Uh, don't see it often, and
yeah.
most people that I have seen it from, they bought their views. So, uh, I know for a fact you didn't do that, so that's
And
definitely
say just the water money I gave you.
yep, just a lot of money that he gave me to run a giveaway for him. And then he gave another wad of money to Cinema Chris and another one
Yeah.
to Horror Film Kid and PS Films Bob. Which,
Yeah,
by
if
the
only
way,
I knew I did.
if
Huh?
you if y'all missed out on that giveaway, you really fucked up because that was a great giveaway. But we do still
Oh,
have
yeah.
some friends that are running giveaways on TikTok as of the recording of this, which this is coming out. When is this coming out? Tuesday, September 26th. I don't suspect these people will have these giveaways ended by then, but PS Films Bob and Monique's Movie Madness are both running giveaways still. So go to their channels and check them out as well because they have some pretty good stuff they're giving away.
Yeah, definitely 2 great creators there.
Oh yeah, but Judas, my man, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know that you are one of our weekly listeners, one of the few. You can be in an exclusive club of the very few people that listen every single week, regardless. So thank you for
I'm gonna
that.
give you a shirt that says that.
The Masters of Matinee Club, and
We listen.
we listened. Uh, so thank you for your support for our show, with this little show. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on, man. It's been great. It was a fun time. Can't wait for it again. Your show's amazing.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. A good night. Man, community episodes are amongst some of my favorite to do. I am so grateful to be able to sit down with these amazing creators and talk shop. Hey, we'd like to thank everyone who has been listening along. We'd like to remind you to go ahead and follow Masters of Matinee on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Special thanks to this week's co-host, Judas, who can be found on TikTok and Instagram at Judas Cinema Closet. Don't forget that all 4 masters are now on Letterboxd. Come see what kind of movies we've been watching, and be sure to leave a comment and let us know that you listen to the show. Their links can be found in the description. Remember to also follow me on TikTok and YouTube at JT the Talking Head. Thank you all so much for listening to this awesome collaborative effort of 4 guys who just want to talk about the things they love, movies, and physical media. Be sure to join us next week and every single week on Blues Day Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the show. And a little bit of a hint for you. Next week, we get spooky.
Judas, I ain't even about to fucking front with you, buddy. So I like made a mistake. It was up all night doing jack shit, and I had a bunch of fucking schoolwork to do. And I was like, this fucking class that's a communications class, and I had to read the entire fucking chapter, which was like 60 pages, and then like do like fucking 16 assignments on it. And my wife brought me coffee when she came home from work, and that motivated me. And in the last few hours, I've done fucking all of it. And she also brought me a Red Bull, so I'm about to go make fucking dinner, and then I'm gonna drink a fucking Red Bull, and we're gonna make a fucking magic show. God damn it.
Okay, buddy. Well, you just relax with that caffeine. No need your heart exploding, but I'll see you at 8. Sounds exciting.